get what I'm saying? Because if I understand the idol, now I can make sure when I am speaking to other people, I recognize that there is a God they can make out of their circumstances.
Hmm. Nah, that's
And
deep.
you tear down gods because of that.
You tear down
One of the
gods, like,
big, you tear down the gods that people will place in their lives if you understand that they exist.
yeah, yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Your generation, not, they don't exist the way they did in the Old Testament. That was a completely different world. We have this misunderstanding that our reality, the principles, the fruits of the spirit, the aspects of the loop as far as our behaviors is the same. But the manifestation, how you lived, what you did, what you ate, all of those things change. And we don't understand that. And because of that, we think that what we see in there is almost exactly how it's supposed to be for me. You just said that you got to go through the fire. Now, in the Bible, that's represented by Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego going into the fire. But in 2023, going into the fire for me or you might manifest itself differently.
I can see that.
It's a miracle nonetheless.
Yeah, I can see that. Cause I mean, again, right? Like it's a circle. It's a season. So this time exactly a year ago is this time. But if I go, what's today? Sunday. If I go forward like 23 Sundays from now, it'll be what like winter,
Mm.
but it's still Sunday.
But it's still Sunday.
You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
So,
Exactly.
but all that to say, right? Like that's why there's a spirit and a truth to it, because just because something is, appears a particular way, doesn't mean that it's also not what it's not appearing as. Does that make sense?
I get you.
Right. So even taking that particular story, because even in the biblical narrative, like you have the fire in numerous ways. Even Christ says, right, like I have a fire to bring forth on the earth, and how I wish it were already kindled.
Mm.
It's like that. It's the same. The understanding is that there isn't anything new under the sun, right? Like Abba is the same yesterday, today, and forever. It's just grasping what your role is, or better yet, what role are you going to play? What role do you have the faith to play in? Because it's a play, it's a movie. And I got this from my big bros, right? Like the movie is written, it's already done, but who's gonna act out this role? Who's gonna act out that role? And if the main actor can't make it, there's an understudy. Somebody's gonna play it and be it. Just so don't miss your spot. Don't miss your spot, bro. But it's like, yeah, that stuff is it's so true, because it's a parable and it happened, but it's you could talk about this forever, dog. You could talk about.
So,
Go ahead.
no. So, because we could. So, question:
Yeah.
if you call yourself something that was once a part of the destruction in your past, and you call yourself that because you intend on it being positive, are you still just the thing that was constructed for you to be?
Say that again.
Let's get specific.
Yeah.
So, if you are a black man who was called the N word in 1789,
Mm-hmm.
but your great 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 grandson in the 1980s now refers to himself the same way but with an A, if we maintain that idea, do we still keep the same value as before?
Hmm. I think there's a deeper question there.
Okay.
Because people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And unless you know history, you're doomed to repeat it, right? So even in that word, in any word, any perverse language, it's not what goes into you that defiles you. It's what comes out of you. So if you're moving verbally like in agreement with things that will defile you. Well, if life and death is in the power of the tongue, why would you ever want to speak anything that is not life? Because there's not life in that word.
There's not.
It's not life.
And ladies, there's no life in the other one that you all like to call yourselves too.
Oh man, nah.
There's no life.
Yeah.
Baby,
So
you can't flip it, baby. You can't. I know you think you can, and it makes sense because when you get hit on the head, you just isn't it wild that humans, when something bad happens, they get so obsessed with proving something to the oppressor that they end up doing exactly what the oppressor wanted them to do in the first place.
yeah.
It's like, okay, so you you and you were beat like this, so now you tell this guy, you know what, forget you, I'll just beat myself.
I mean, it's
Like,
pride, bro.
I'm just gonna kick my own. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
wow.
But it's pride, and pride and anger will do that. It'll make you a victim of your own circumstances because you're so caught up in how you feel about it. And so you want somebody else to see how you feel about it, not knowing that you're destroying yourself because you're so caught up in the feelings. The feelings are what's real to you. That's the pinnacle. It's become your God. So you want to educate people on how you feel so much that you're willing to die again. You're willing to take whatever brunt that, and if you take damage for doing something good, then okay. But if you're destroying yourself for things that like aren't in love and aren't in faith, then it really doesn't matter. Because I think we said this before, but regardless of what you're serving, like eventually you're going to die for whatever God you serve. So if you die for yourself, you die for nothing. Because you ain't nothing. You all of this was here before you was here. You know what I'm saying? There's no point to anyways, man.
It is any person that is willing to suffer for the benefit of others will change those people's lives for generations.
Yeah, amen. Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty sure this is gonna be one of the last generations, though. That's what that. You know what I'm saying, bro? Because
I don't know, dog. We might only have like 3 of them left, bro. Like,
I mean,
and hear me, bro. So this is how I look at it, right? I think that it just means that life will change as we know it. You know what I'm saying? Like life will change as we know it.
Oh, it will.
God says it's over. And so what will come about, we got 3 or 4 generations and we're gonna see.
Life is gonna do it. If it's gonna do anything, it's gonna change. So
it's gonna change significantly.
Death changes too. Yeah. So
yeah,
boy.
But no, you're right. Like I said, I give it 3, maybe 4.
I'm not giving it that long. That's too hopeful. That's too hopeful, bro.
I say, okay, this is why I say 3, maybe 4, because we have to look at. This is how you look at society. Society wants to sustain itself generations in. That's how the people who control society are looking at society. I got that now. I've been studying these people.
What do you mean society is trying to sustain society?
The goal of the people, the industry people, the people who have billions of dollars, is to sustain themselves and others for as many generations as possible.
I don't agree.
So they can continue to consume what is available.
I don't. Go ahead.
So I do not mean sustain in a positive sense. I mean sustain consumption.
Yeah.
The goal is in America to have the people at the top sustain consumption. So how I'm looking at it is how much wheat in the storehouse do we have for this famine that is coming?
Famine's here.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Here's the thing. No man knows the time nor the hour, so I do my best not to concern myself with that at all.
Right.
However, if me and you was chilling and we was, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna have a good time tonight. You know, we got on our cloth, We walking around. Some lions over there, man, and they just chilling. Dang, them lions being real chill today. That's dope. You see that? Yeah, I see that. All right, we're gonna kill this deer. Oh man, look at this antelope that we got that we gonna eat. Then all of a sudden, some white people say, "Gotcha." You know what I'm saying? What do you? What is that not the famine? And then you get tied up, and now all of a sudden you looking, and there's 15 other people that have nooses and ropes. You've never seen nooses and ropes before, and now you and me are going on this boat where there's another 200 people, and they're doing all this gross stuff because they're stuck in here. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so the famine has the problem with humans is we don't understand that as long as we continue to adhere to God, the famine never goes away. The famine is a matter of our approach to what God gives and grants, and then our misuse of it. Because if we misunderstand, we'll misuse it. And so we have to start thinking differently about that. We have to start looking at it and saying, yeah, I mean, this is the famine, but the reason why we have this famine is because our fathers didn't take care of this famine.
Hmm. I'm
I'm
slow to
not
blame the.
saying
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not saying that means that I'm reflecting on when it's all over. Again, I don't concern myself with that, but I
Right.
do know that my father had a famine that if he took care of, he would have aided another generation.
All right. Now
Because
you're
the
doing what we talked
famine
about.
of David, because the
Uh huh.
famine of David, meaning his problem, meaning looking at Bathsheba and then having Solomon, ushered in the famine of Solomon being a womanizer.
Nah.
It did. It
Nah.
ushered it in. It did not control it.
I'm
Hear
a.
me.
I'm a.
It did not
Go ahead.
control it.
Uh huh.
But Solomon was in tune to his father so much and not onto God that he would take on the condition that would create an even greater famine.
So let me ask a question: is that a consequence or is it a responsibility?
I mean, it's both.
Nah. So it can't. Solomon can't be. No. Nobody gets punished for the actions of their ancestors,
No,
right?
no. But you can, but if you do not understand or learn, you will take a weight that's not yours to hold.
Right. But that again, if every man dies for their own sin, that's what happens. Every man is gonna die. They die for their own sin. So when they get confronted with that, they have that responsibility. Like otherwise, we're back on the loop of the garden.
But you just said it. You just
Hmm.
said it. What did you say? What did you say? You said that they say that last part you just said.
Man, I can't. Go ahead, run it by me. But I'll say what the point I was trying to make again.
Yes.
So
Yes.
every man is
No,
gonna
no,
die
no.
for their
No, you said if they realize it.
if they
And
realize
what
what.
I'm speaking into the lack of realization. Yes, you are absolutely right. If you realize the condition and you acknowledge it, you shall be saved. Yes.
Hmm.
But if you don't realize it, you have no need to know why you should be saved from it. So now, because you don't know your wisdom, you will misunderstand because you did not understand the reality that you don't have to live in something that you're choosing to live in because of the lack of reality. You are absolutely right. Absolutely right. At the end of the day, it always goes down to one half. I'm just the type of person that says, yes, you're absolutely right. But this fool up here say the answer is 2/4. And 2/4 has a lot of extra nonsense on it. And if we don't pay attention, he gonna look at 2/4 and go, oh yeah, that's the answer. That makes sense. No, it's not. There's too much weight on 2/4. We have to get you to one half. So I'm the type of person that looks at that and goes, okay, we have to transition to one half. So let me be about the work of helping people transition to the answer.
I don't know if I'm picking up what you're putting down, but I'll hold on.
The judges in the Old Testament, right?
Yeah.
Solomon, all of these different people. What were they to the Israelites?
They were the judges. They made,
They were the
yeah.
judges, people who were supposed to help them, build them, give them direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
But do so for the betterment
Right.
according to God's will.
Right.
That's who they were, right? When you get into Solomon, however, now you have a kingdom. See, the judges are just people, and they're not beholden to the people. They're beholden to God because they don't control all of this. They're at one half. They understand God as God is, and they help people understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a king now, especially a king that has multiple generations, he takes his sight off of God and focuses his sight on man.
Right. Let's
So now that
look.
he added man onto it, the answer is not one half, it's two fourths. And two fourths is an over exaggeration of one half. But there are a lot of people that are stuck at the over exaggeration. And
So,
that's why they miss the mark.
So, speak. Are you speaking plainly, or are you speaking as plainly as you want
No,
to speak?
so you see uber religious people, right?
Mm-hmm.
They like super uber religious, they do all this stuff and they don't have an understanding of other people. They have exaggerated something and they begin to misperceive it.
I see what you're saying. So, see this, and there, I think this is where I'm at a different road in it. I don't see it as two fourths. I see it as it's not. Their answer isn't. Their answer can't also be right.
It's not.
That's what I mean. So it's not their right and this is right. It's more like they're wrong and this is right. So for even using, Solomon and the judges, the only reason the judges came there is because Israel didn't want to listen to God. Only reason the earthly king was given is because they didn't even want to listen to him. Because they were
Well, they were listen to the judges.
No. Even before, so they came after Saul. So if I'm let me make sure I'm getting this right, because Saul blew it. Saul blew it completely, and he was exactly what the people asked for. If Samuel, if I'm remembering correctly, Samuel was forced to give them a king. He didn't want to, and
Right.
Abba didn't want to, but he said,
Right.
"You know what? These people keep asking for it. I'm going to give you exactly what you asked for, and you're
Right.
going to hang yourself with your own rope, and then you're going to
Right.
come running back." So, and I think a lot of people are doing that. They don't want God for God. They want a genie. They want something that's going to serve them, like a
Well,
king.
they want to be God, and that's the reason why God didn't want to give a king to them, because a king doesn't have someone to listen to. So he will slowly but surely fancy himself a God, because there is no authority above him from a physical standpoint. And because we're narrow-minded and we don't unlock ourselves to the fullness of our faith, we begin to perceive that because there is no physical sovereignty, that there is no sovereignty, and we will become gods like that. That's what happens. A king, it says, what's a god to a king? A king is a person who misbelieves that he is a god.
I
And
diss.
God- God-
Go ahead.
So here,
Yeah.
and God knows that if I give you this king, he's going to make this about him.
So let me.
Your judges didn't make this about them. They made this about me. But if I give you this king, he will misunderstand me and begin to think he is me. And in that, he will lose his ability to serve me in his fullest.
I think you're right if you're looking at it humanly. But let me ask you a question. Is Jesus a king?
Yes.
He's the king.
But that's the key word. And the king is the only. You ever say, there's this funny dude, man. I like what he did, right? He used that. He said the and that, right? So there was these two women, there was superheroes, and he does the hood voices. He was like, he called, so Wonder Woman's talking to another woman. Wonder Woman calls the woman a bee, and then she calls herself the B.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman says, well, why'd you you calling yourself a B? I'm calling myself a B. He said, no, if I am a B, I am not even that. I'm just random and pointless. But if I'm the B, I am the head of it all. So when you are a king, you're just a man. There have been hundreds of thousands of kings, and they're just a man. But the king transcends man,
But now let
and
me
it
ask
is
a question.
God.
So is Jesus also a man?
But there's a transcendence in the fact that he is also a man. That's
That's
the transcendence. His being a man goes to show us the representation on earth, what he is, a part of that trinity in the spirit. It's a representation. So we go, oh, okay, I see you now. I've heard you now. Someone has seen you now. Someone has heard you now. Okay, I accept this. So the manhood of Christ is for us to see with our eyes or
but
hear with our ears.
but
But go ahead.
are we supposed to live by faith or by sight though?
So
I'm gonna keep it
I
a stack
think
with you for you. You keep going. This might be an offline combo though, cause this is going. This is
it
a
might.
weedy one.
It
It's a
is.
weedy one.
It is. I don't even think. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, right? I. It's the difference of like this. I go to Wendy's and I get a franchise at Wendy's, and now I got this thing, right? I got
Mhm.
this. We making sandwiches, right? Me and you go in on it, right? Now you come in and you're like, hey, listen, Ron, you know what I'm saying? We got this. We're gonna take care of this, and I already know it's set. And I'm like, bet. I take that information and then I say, okay, so in order for the vision that was just laid to happen, I got to understand, okay, we got to get them buns. Oh, them buns jacked up. Okay, why they jacked up? You get what I'm saying? It's like, I think some people have, it just depends on how God flows in you based off of your assignment. And I think that from your assignment, it's this free flowing wellspring of like adapting to the construct above and below. But my calling more so is taking that information on above and assessing it for life below and understanding that there are different ranges of life, just like Christ understood that there were different types of people that needed him nonetheless. So for me, it's like it's I ascertain that as my responsibility on earth.
I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. I think this is gonna be, and I say this humbly, humbly. I love you, you big bro. I got you. I say this humbly as I can. This gonna be one of those ones within a few years. We're gonna chat, Abba willing, and you're gonna be like, oh, I get what you're talking about. It's gonna be a process though, but it's
I
gonna
hear
be
you.
one of
I hear
those
you. I hear you.
because
I hear you.
yeah,
I hear you.
yeah.
And I believe truly that we will have this conversation and we will look at each other and say, I understand.
Because I understand. I will say this again humbly. I understand where it appears to me that I understand exactly where you're coming from. I think it might take a little bit more time for to be understood in that same way though. I think it might take a little bit more time. Because godliness isn't a means to gain. Godliness isn't a means to be used something, for your own advantage, right? It says in Colossians, right, the Son is the image of the invisible God. And if I'm not mistaken, it's in Hebrews where they describe how he used godliness. He counted it not robbery to have that godliness be used as something that was advantage to him. I'm a matter of fact, I was gonna not do it, but I think this will definitely help. Hold on, let me make sure. Isn't to let me see. Hold on. Counted. Right. Because I want to make sure I get this. I get this exactly correct. Yeah. All right, boom. Yeah, it's Philippians 2. Because I always get it almost, and then I'm like, I said that not exactly correctly. So let me get that. I got to get it. It's Philippians 2. I'm going to start at 5. It says, in your relationships with one another, have the same mindset as Christ Jesus, who, being in very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to be used to his own advantage. So he died to himself. Rather, he made himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant, being made in human likeness, and being found in appearance as a man. He humbled himself by becoming obedient to death, even death on a cross.
I gotta be honest, I'm hearing that, and as I'm processing, like I'm truly processing it, I gotta be honest, dog,
Yeah.
and this is just real. I think that, like, I truly believe this. I think that there is just a difference of position, because I don't disagree with that. I agree with
Yeah.
that. And as you were saying it, it's like, yeah. So in order for me to do that, I have to learn to take this thing off. And the more I learn to take it off, the more I begin to die to myself. And the more I die to myself, the more I'm helpful. The more I'm helpful according to the things laid out by God. So it's like, I agree with that. And when I hear that verse, I hear it for the letting go and the opening of oneself to be a clear cut servant.
Yeah. Amen. But a servant is not greater than his master. You remember that, right?
Nope. Yep.
But do you remember the other part of it? I remember this one by heart, but I feel like if I show you this will help a little bit. So remember that. Oh man. Go to Luke 6. Go to Luke 6 and 40. Luke 6 and 40. It'll bless my heart. I'm in NIV. It'll bless my heart tremendously if you read what that says.
Yes, the student is not above the teacher, but everyone who is fully trained will be like their master. They will not be their master. They will be like their master.
You want to keep digging? Do you want? If you don't want to,
I mean, we can. I think we can take one more shovel of dirt.
Okay.
And we can see where it goes, because that's. Thomas. Did Thomas have the same viewpoint as? And no. Did Andrew have the same viewpoint as Peter?
You know what Peter means, right?
What does Peter mean?
Stone.
Right. So what I'm asking, did Andrew, right, have the same idea that Peter did holistically?
Before they died. Before they died.
Yes, right? Yes, before they died, they did. Exactly. So they could only be like Christ. These same people who would deny Christ, who would get so lost in their anger, all of these things, they strive to be like Christ. And as we do, we slowly become Christ, but we have to be like Christ. And that's the process in our living. And as we move in our living, that like transitions
to what?
To be.
Amen.
But it has to transition
Amen.
into that.
Amen.
And that's all, and that's the beauty in our conversation, because we're just speaking from different places, slightly different places.
Yeah.
In the same space of this. You know what I'm saying? Just a reflection, because you need that. You need two black dudes having a conversation about the power of God and examining that. That allows people to receive the word as opposed to just becoming America's next top oppressor. You like how I did that? Ha! Started right back.
That's funny. That's funny.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Good times, bro.
This, yeah. This is a walk of a lifetime.
Yeah. That's facts.
Let's say that
D.
in as
Duh.
many ways as possible.
Yeah. That's facts.
But yeah, it's we got to talk, bro. We got to talk off. I don't know what you're doing after this, but we got to talk more on this.
That's facts. That's
And,
facts.
Yeah, man.
Well, good people, this has been episode 6. Thank you for going down this rabbit hole with us.
Man,
I think it was pretty fruitful, though.
Yeah.
I would say.
It was interesting for sure. There's some people coming in and going in and out and just chilling. I could see it on the thing. But
Facts. Shout outs to y'all.
pretty tight. Nah, man, it's yours. You go ahead. You take care of it.
Good people, it's real simple. At the heart of your human nature is fear. And with fear, you will make mistakes and sin because you misperceive the reality. In order to rise above your human nature, one must accept things that are beyond themselves according to the power of Christ. So if anybody asks, like Michael Jackson, why, instead of human nature, you'll say you rose above your nature. That's it. That's all I got.
Hey, squad. We ending. We out of here.
All right.